Hello, everybody. So, if my voice sounds a little tired, I have filmed 4 videos today, so my voice might be a little rough. But I really wanted to talk about this case, and today we're talking about Kimberly Bearclaw I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm so bad at saying that word. So, my previous video was kind of like a more in depth explanation on what MMIW is, Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women. And at the end, I gave some names of cases associated with MMIW. And one of them is Kimberly Bearclaw that I named off. And I wanted to talk about her today. I couldn't find a whole lot of information. And I also could not find very many photos at all. So I apologize. Maybe I just wasn't looking in the right places. I just could not find very many photos of her. But I still wanted to speak about her nonetheless. So you might be familiar with this case. I've seen it talked about a couple times, not a whole lot. But all the links I used to research will be down below, like always. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. So Kimberly Michelle Bearclaw grew up on the Crow Indian reservation of Montana. She has 3 children, and unfortunately, her family has a tragic history. Her great uncle, and a cousin were or have all been victims of a homicide. And now the 21-year-old is missing. On September 22nd, 2020, Kimberly's dad, Curtis, would receive a call from his daughter who was in Las Vegas. She didn't often leave the state, so he was shocked that she wasn't in Billings, Montana at that moment. In the call, Kimberly was in tears, and she told him that they're in Las Vegas with her boyfriend and some people, and her boyfriend had been arrested. Curtis recalled that she was very upset and she just wanted to try to get home. But Kimberly never gave him her exact location, and she would go silent for days. She later called from different phone numbers and said she was in places like Oxnard, California, and on the way to Long Beach. The calls were brief, and Curtis said that she was on speakerphone. She told him she was okay, but he didn't believe her. Each time he tried to call the numbers back, they were disconnected. The most recent call, at the time I'm doing the research, and all I could find evidence of, was on October 6th, 2020, and the number was traced back to the Los Angeles area. Curtis believes his daughter is being held against her will, and I do too. He also fears that she may be the victim of sex trafficking, which I also feel that way. And this is a quote from Curtis, her father. He says, "Something didn't add up. She was always on speakerphone. So the people she was with, whoever they were, could hear everything she was saying. She would tell me that she was okay, but she didn't sound okay to me. She didn't sound like herself. It's not like her to just take off like this. She wouldn't leave her kids. Something isn't right. If she's safe, then all she has to do is tell the police. But that's not happening. So to me, something is wrong." End quote. A missing persons report was filed with the Bighorn County Sheriff's Office in Hardin, Montana. Her case is currently being investigated and is considered active. And a quote from Captain J. Middlestead. They say, "We believe that at this time," and this was in 2020 when this quote was made, "Kimberly is in the greater Los Angeles area. We know she has contacted her family, but until she notifies law enforcement, this is still going to be considered a missing persons case." End quote. Captain Middlestead wouldn't elaborate on if foul play is suspected, but simply urges the public to come forward with any information that could be of help. Some of Kimberly's family and friends have tried to contact her through social media, and she has technically replied, but the responses are short and odd, and they don't sound like her, and the family just doesn't believe that it is her at all. Her family and friends have distributed flyers in their community and on social media and are trying to raise money to travel to California for a larger search effort. Her children, They still ask about her and are being cared for by their grandparents. Kim is 5'2", 126 pounds. She has brown eyes and brown hair, a small scar between her eyes, and anybody with any information is urged to contact the Bighorn Sheriff's Office at 406-665-9780. Again, the phone number is 406-665-9780, and her case number is 20-01288. Again, her case number is 20-01288. And that's all that I could really gather about Kimberly. And for the most part, on all the articles I read, it was a lot of just the same information, word for word, regurgitated. So there wasn't really a whole lot out there that I could find. Maybe I just missed something or some good articles, but this was all I could personally find. But I still urge you to go and do your own research. But getting into what I think, her father thinks that she's not okay, which I agree with, and he also thinks that she could be part of a sex trafficking ring, which I also agree. The way that she was calling him from Las Vegas, her boyfriend's arrested, she's with other people, and she just wants to go home, and then she just goes silent for days. And then she contacts them, she's on speakerphone, I'm okay, and then, like, that's it. And then from multiple phone numbers, and they're all disconnected after. Like, she's definitely being held against her will. Like, I 100% believe that. To me, that's not normal behavior. Like, she was so distraught when she called him that first time. She just wanted to go home. I fail to believe that that just completely changed and she is completely fine now. Just like it's where, like, she is in Las Vegas and now she's in Oxnard and she's going to Long Beach. Like, he even said, like, it's weird for her to often leave the state of Montana, so for her to be going to all these different places, it's really weird to him. And I feel like she got caught up in something while she was there, and I do believe that she is in sex trafficking. I hope she's still alive at least. But I do believe that she got carried into something that is a lot worse than what I think a lot of people might suspect. But that's just my opinion. I just think the whole thing is weird. Like, the phone calls, like, it gave me chills hearing about that. My first immediate thought was sex trafficking. And when I read the quote from him thinking it was also sex trafficking, I was like, oh my gosh. To me, it just makes the most sense, but obviously we don't know. All we can hope for is that she comes home eventually, or they find a way, they find her somewhere. And I hope they do. I hope someone sees her and, they call that number and we can bring her home. And I really hope she's okay, because she has her family back home and friends, but she also has those two little children that still ask about their mom, and I think that they would just absolutely love to have her back. But let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for listening to Kimberly's case, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye, guys.